I just now arrived at my final destination here in Plymouth, California. I'm sitting right outside the construction yard. It's a brand new construction site. I brought this insulation from Salt Lake City to Plymouth, California. Coming across, I've been needing to get my clutch adjusted for several months. I could feel the clutch pedal getting closer and closer up to the top. So today I called Kenworth in Reno and said, hey, how much you come in and adjust my clutch? They told me about 125 bucks. I said, oh, okay, cool. So I called a couple other local shops. They told me about 150, 160. So I decided to go with Kenworth. So I get to Kenworth, they get me straight in, they pull my truck straight into the shop. About 10 minutes later, I'm sitting in the driver's lounge and the guy comes out and says, we got your clutch brake adjusted. And I was like, well, I really didn't need the clutch brake adjusted. I said, it was working just fine. I said, my pedal was getting close to the top. I really need the linkage adjusted to get the clutch, back down. I got 365,000 miles on the truck. I said, it's running out of free play. I don't have any more free play. So they said, well, that's going to be a little bit extra. I said, how much extra? He said, probably an hour. I said, well, let's just do it. I said, because I got to get it done. That's why I'm here. So then they come out and then they show me a picture of what happened. Well, they didn't show me a picture. They had the little linkage. They had a linkage. He said, we tried to heat it. We tried to, be careful as we could with it, but it ended up breaking. So he said, we got the part. So right here, I got the bill right here today, right here. A breakdown. The clutch linkage was $175. Clutch rod connect was $16.31. Some other piece was $40.20. So that came out to 210 bucks. Time and materials, $442. State tax, $19. Total is $461.42. But then, oh, the front page over here, they got $125. I guess that was for the stupid, the initial quote they gave me. So the 125 plus the 461. So the total bill was $586. I swear to God, sometimes I feel like they break shit on purpose just so they can rake, When I told him I needed a clutch adjustment, I thought that's what he, understood was a clutch adjustment, not because I didn't say nothing about a clutch brake. I said, never mentioned the word brake. Anyway, so I got over here to this town that I'm in. I can't never remember the name of it. Plymouth. But since I've left the house, I want to go up in here to a program up in here on the top. I'm gonna hit customize because I left the house on July the 29th and today is August the 13th. July the 29th to current, hit OK. So I want to show you this right here. We're gonna start with this. The 3 loads I've done, it came out to $12,800. That was the $7,000 load I got from Atlanta, Georgia, out to Pebble Beach, California. Then I picked a load up in Oakland, took it to Denver, got $3,200 on it. Then I got $1,400 to go back to Salt Lake City. And then yesterday I picked up a $1,200 load from Salt Lake City to here. That comes out to $12,800 bucks. So since I've left the house, I've spent $5,800 in fuel, maintenance on my truck. Let's look at the maintenance right there. I got a report right here. You come over here, click report. So I had the labor on the airbags and shocks installation, 330 bucks. The labor and install for Freon was $515. That was the AC compressor on my truck when it went out. I bought an AC compressor, was 321 bucks. The air dryer was 152 bucks. The airbags was $68.63, and the shocks was $95. The shocks and airbags was on my sleeper, not the truck itself, but the sleeper. Then I also had to buy 4 new batteries. That came out to $556. The balance on the dozer, so they charged me, they replaced the dozer valve, and that was $1,013, but it was 2 different separate transactions. They wanted a deposit. Before they put the dozer valve on, they came out and said, this is your estimated balance, and we started a new thing this year. We're now requiring a deposit. I said, whatever, man, I got to get the thing fixed. So that, so that was 2 transactions, $1,000 there and that there. Then I had to get the battery lugs. I took the battery out in Oakland and I disconnected because one of the batteries had exploded, so I took the lugs off. I thought I laid them right here by the door, and I couldn't find those 2 lugs anywhere. I don't know if I left them on the ground out there in Oakland or what, but I couldn't find them. So it was $6.85 for 2 new lugs. Then today was the $586.42. And then when I was in Oakland, I had to pay $75 for a jump start. I went to the parts store to try to buy a battery. I was going to, because that's when I woke up in Oakland and my batteries were dead. And I went to Advance about a mile down the road on a scooter, and they didn't have the batteries I needed. So there was a guy standing there in the line. I said, you want to make set? Because the roadside guy wanted like $150 to $225 to come out and jump me off. And then the second thing they was doing was I was calling these local companies, just come out and see what they would charge to give me a jump start. And they were like, what make and model is your vehicle? And I'm like, I don't need my vehicle jumped off. I need my generator. I got a little small generator. Oh, we don't do that. All I want to do is, the batteries was just barely under charge that it wouldn't even jump off my generator, my APU. So anyway, total for that right there is $4,732. I'm $3,423 in the red since I've left the house. I've been working. Today is a solid 2 full weeks. 2 weeks to make $12,800, and I'm $3,000. But let's go into customize, and we'll go back to year to date. So year to date, I've made $126,085. Total expenses, $97,886, which comes out to $28,198. So now let's just kind of bounce over here to this other program. And so what we've got here is that same $125,000. Let me just clear all this out. This was some other figures I was doing earlier. So there's the gross earnings, 1,000. There's my net earnings. I just rounded it up the other $3 to $28,200. My total miles for the year is 54,000. My gross cents per mile, and this is loaded and empty, is $2.30 a mile. My this year is $1.79. I feel like I'm just being bled dry slowly. It's a slow death in the trucking industry. I've been doing this for 13 years. I think some of this expenses, like I said, I've had this truck for 4 years. I had to put a new set of tires on here this year, steers and drives. I've also purchased a new set of tires for the trailer. Typically I buy 8 of them in at the house, and I usually carry 1 or 2 spares with me. I got 2 spares on the truck right now. Those are those 17.5 low pro, 17.5 inch tires for this low pro step deck trailer. I do that because I can get the tires for about roughly $200 on Walmart.com. I just have them shipped to the house because truck stops, they never have my size. And if they do, all they have is a Bridgestone, Michelin, or Continental, and they want like $700 a tire. And they don't last any longer than those cheap $200 tires I get on Walmart.com. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on in the trucking industry right now. The expenses are just going through the roof. So the point is typically in the years past, I've always tried to average, and I have averaged. If you come out here and look at like last year, here's my expenses for last year, which was $1.66 to operate. The year before that was 2023. My cost of operation, I gotta scroll it over a little bit. Was $1.64. And in 2022, my cost of operation was $1.85. So you can see year to year, I'm hanging in there right around that $1.70, $1.65. I think my average for like 10 years comes out to like $1.65. But I feel like I need to start pushing that up. I need to start being closer to $3 a mile. And the thing is, if you look down here on 2025, the column over here, you can see just for even the last few loads I've done, my cost of operation is this column right here. So there's the number of miles Google says it is. So I did a load for 2,300 miles and got $2.18 a mile. I did a load for 560 miles for $5.36 a mile. 510. So all my miles are really up there, what they're paying per mile on the loaded miles. It's like 218, 536, 353, 474, 291, 258, 275, and then that little shitload I just done from Salt Lake City to get out of there. And like you can see right there, my bottom line is right now where I'm at this year is $2.30 a mile for all miles, including deadhead. So it's not horrible, but it is at the bottom end of the spectrum. And I have had a lot of deadhead this year. So if you take right there, I'll just hit auto sum, and we're just going to add up all the deadhead for this year. I've got 9,200 miles of deadhead so far this year. I mean, that's pretty significant. It ain't but halfway on the 8th month, 8 months into the year. I don't mind the deadhead to go get a good paying load, but the reason, I don't know. But I kind of gauge myself, and I use the spreadsheet here and the accounting program. Those are the two things I use, and then I combine those two together to come up with my numbers for the year. But things has got to get better. I mean, what really sucks is when I leave the house and I'm out here for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I see red, that number over here, right here. Anyway, I didn't lost that page, but it's I don't know what to say. I just wanted to post my numbers to show people that trucking is really no joke. It don't take, but you got to manage your money. I don't know how people that have household, my house is paid for. My car, everything I got at the house is paid for. I got my car payment and my wife's car payment, and that's it. But people who have high rents or a high house payment, a family, I don't know how they're making it. I really don't know how people are making it being an owner-operator, especially at the rates that I'm seeing. And then I'm also seeing what other people are sometimes posting on the load boards, not the load boards, but on YouTube, other people are doing it. And they're averaging like somewhere between $1.60 to $2 a mile. And I don't see how they're getting by. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a better time at it than me, because right now I'm annoyed and struggling. It's a tough go at it right now.